Hello, it's time for another episode of Damien Ruins Horror Movies. My name is Damien. Today's episode is brought to you, as always, by Cool Dude Inc. And we are going to continue the Tales from the Crypt. And I finally got season 1 in the mail. I was hoping I'd get it before I finished watching all the episodes. Tonight's episode is season 1, episode 4. Only Sin Deep. But first, let's cue up them whiskey bats. Leah Thompson is a horror. And that's not just my opinion. That's her character in this episode. Which is funny because I found this description from IMDb. It says, a call girl, Leah Thompson, needs money to land a handsome playboy. So she tries to sell some jewelry to a pawn shop owner. It's a very subtle way of putting what she does. The jewelry that she's trying to pawn, she stole at gunpoint from her pimp. I don't know if he was her pimp or not. He was a pimp. He's not anymore because he's dead. She killed him. And then she takes his stuff to the pawn shop. And the guy at the pawn shop's like, what do we got? Well, I would buy this from you, but it's hot. If it was any hotter, I could fry eggs on it. He kept making hot references. And it was like, okay, dude, we get it. It's stolen stuff. And out of nowhere, this lady with a veil comes walking in and she like attacks him. And then she quickly leaves. And we're just supposed to act like we didn't see it. So he doesn't want any of the jewelry, but she does have something he does want. He wants her beauty. And he offers her $10,000 for it. And if she doesn't change her mind in 4 months, it's his to keep. Now, I don't know why this guy has $10,000 laying around. And he makes a cast of her face. And you see a cabinet where there's other casts of other people. So it's like, where are you getting $10,000 to buy all these people's beauties? Because that's who the lady, kind of an early spoiler, the lady that came in and attacked him, I'm assuming that he stole her beauty or bought her beauty from her. So after he buys her beauty, he goes into a room in the back. I don't know if he lives in this pawn shop or what, but he's got a casket with a mummified corpse in it. It's his old wife. And he puts a spell on her, and then when we see her again, she's all young and beautiful. I do not understand why you need your wife to be beautiful if she's dead. I can see if he could somehow bring her back to life from all this, but all he does is like he makes her beautiful, and it must not last because he's done it more than this time, and she's mummified again. So where's he getting $10,000? And why is he doing this? It doesn't make any sense. Leah takes her $10,000 and she goes to a party and she meets this GQ guy, Mr. GQ, who she was looking at earlier, and she's going to try and score with him. And he makes a remark to her, so she bitch slaps him. And then he's like, what was that for? He's like, oh, just... And she goes, oh, just playing hard to get, which is really, it was weird. But it worked. And she told him, like, oh, I'm the woman of your dreams. And then it's 4 months later. Her and GQ are living together. But her skin is aging at an alarming rate. And she's not sure what to do about it. So she goes to a doctor, and he says, yes, you're aging very, very quickly. Is there anything, he tries to like get some answers out of it because he can't figure it out. And then she suddenly remembers, I don't know how she could forget. Like, how often are you selling your beauty? She remembers the guy at the pawn shop. She's like, that guy did something and now I'm losing my beauty. Like, yeah, no shit, he bought your beauty from you. So she goes back to him, but it's been 4 months in 1 day. And he says, sorry, all sales are final. And she is shit out of luck. But he says, well, there is one thing. She's like, I'll give you your $10,000 back. He goes, I don't want the $10,000. Now it's $100,000 and you can have your beauty back. So maybe, does he give people their beauty back? That would explain how he has all the money. But I don't know. This is a weird plot. She goes home. She starts grabbing all the jewelry and everything she could find, and GQ comes home. And he's like, who are you? He doesn't even recognize her at this point, which is weird. Like, you would know it was the same person just because her face got older and she was like, she had like a veil on, so she's hiding it. And he just totally, it's like, you know what her body looks like. It's not like, oh, this strange person, I have no idea who they are. And then if, like, because her face looks like if I put on a mask and walked up to a friend, they'd know it was me. But he calls the cops because she won't leave, and she pulls out her famous gun and she blows him away, which was really extreme. But then she hurries out of there and she goes back to the pawn shop. And the pawn shop guy looks at her jewelry, her bag full, and he goes, wow, that looks like a lot of jewelry. There's a lot of money there. You want your face back? You want your beauty back? I could do that, but there's one problem. And she's like, what? And he holds up the cover of today's newspaper. It's a picture of her as the suspect in the murder of her husband. Or I don't know if they were married or not. I think they were married. But he's dead. It's on the cover. The pacing on this episode is crazy. I have no idea. Like, I didn't know it was the next day. How did they know? It's like she just killed him, and now it's all of a sudden on the cover of the newspaper. But now she's in this predicament where I could give you your face back, but then you're going to go to jail. You can live free and be ugly and old. And this is the best part when she says, I'm only 21 years old. It's like, bullshit. You were not 21 years old. The pawn shop guy has a cop buddy friend that comes in with donuts and hangs out all the time. He's in the main store. They're in the back where the pawn shop guy lives. And she never sees, I'm pretty sure, I just watched this today, I should know. She doesn't see the body, his wife's body or anything. But she takes the cast of her face and she leaves out the side. But then she bumps into her old hooker friend and she drops it on the ground and it shatters into a bunch, actually like two pieces. But just like her beauty is shattered and gone, now the cast is gone as well. And her old hooker friend says, why don't you watch where you're going, you trifling hoe? And that's today's episode. Next time I will be doing Lover Come Hack to Me. It doesn't have a picture of that episode on here. And so I will see you guys then. Don't forget to like and subscribe.